Good morning. I'm just going to get a few things set up. I just wanted to make sure the room was open for everybody. We'll be starting training in about 6 minutes. So go ahead, text your team, remind them to jump on. We'll be back in a few. Training is starting in just 3 minutes, you guys. You're going to want to text your team. This is going to be on closing, and we're going to talk about how to increase your closing ratios. So we'll see you back here in 3 minutes. Okay, guys, 2 minutes to go time. So again, go ahead, send out a quick text, remind your team that this is happening. You are not going to want them to miss this if you want your closing ratios to go up and if you want your people closing deals on a regular basis. So we will see you back here in just 2 minutes. Give it 2 minutes, we'll get started.
Is this? Where? Show me, Dad.
Maybe we'll get them to do the training. What do you guys think? All right. We are ready. Who's ready for an amazing training? Who wants their closing ratio to go over 90%? Anybody? Go ahead and drop a 1 in the chat bar if that would be you. If you would like your closing ratio to shift and to sign more deals. Let's see who's up for the challenge. Awesome. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay, so some of you, who was at the Most Powerful Women in Network Marketing in Las Vegas? Anybody? Drop a 2 in the comments if you were in. There's Dana. Woo! I know you, girl. 1 and a 2, right? So good. Okay, so some of you were there. I'm going to do the closing training that I did there, and I'm going to be very quick about it. So we're going to do a 30-minute training because here's what I know. This is business building hours. And so during business building hours, we build business. So hopefully you guys got a pen and paper handy and you are ready to take some notes. I will tell you that if you really allow this information to start to transform the way you think, you will naturally become a better closer because you'll stop thinking about yourself and focusing on you. Everybody in the world has the same issue, and that's what's in it for me. So I'm going to go through some basic stuff here, you guys, and hopefully we'll have a mindset shift. So if you are ready, type in ready and we will get started. All right. Good to go. You guys waking up yet? If you're on the West Coast where we are, it's 8:30 in the morning. That's how you know who's serious. They're on. Okay. All right, guys, let me just, yeah, the frogs are coming out again, Emilio. Exactly. Some people are like, what? Okay. Okay. So let's talk about why we need to become a master closer. First of all, my name is Melanie Greenough. If you have not heard me before, you're about to hear my story, so I won't do my natural introduction, but I want to talk about why we need to become master closers. In business, we do not get paid to show videos. We don't get paid to talk about how amazing our product is. We don't get paid to make friends, although that helps. We get paid to get credit cards and sign deals. No different than if I was selling cars or houses or broccoli to my children. I need the broccoli to go in the mouth for the deal to be successful. So a couple of things before we start. If you have not read this, don't care about your political affiliations, but I'm not American. I really don't care that much about politics. But Trump, this book, The Art of the Deal, is one of the best books I have ever read, ever, on business. Oh my gosh, look at this, you guys. I started yesterday. I cannot put it down. I got up this morning at 4:45 to start reading, and I read till 6:30. So, because of course, business building hours is for building business. Reading hours is outside of business hours. So, Art of the Deal, Donald Trump, get it, read it 3 times. Okay, why do we need to become master closers? Because closing isn't what people think. I just talked about getting the credit card and closing the deal. And a lot of people think that's the answer. Like that's the, yeah, I did it. I got the credit card and I got a partner or I got a customer. That's not the deal. Here's why we need to become master closers, because this is where I am today. And you know, life is drastically different than what it used to look like. You know, got my husband a Maserati last year. Him and I went and got that on his bucket list, living in a house that is perfectly fine for me. This is my home office. I absolutely love it here. I don't want any bigger of a house. Actually, as a matter of fact, Greg and I are thinking about downsizing. So I met Greg in this business. Sorry guys, I just had somebody ask me a question about the training and I want to make sure that they got on. So, what's really cool is that because somebody was willing to close the deal, follow up with me 14 times. How quickly are you guys giving up on people? How quickly are you not, you follow up with them once or twice, and then because they don't respond the way you think they should, you don't call them back. So that's an issue. 14 times the lady phoned me, 14 times. Took 2 weeks for me to get to look at the video. My husband, over 2.5 weeks for a guy named BJ, who's probably on here, by the way, to get him started in network marketing as well. It took a lot, like persistence, right? Called him and called him and called him. So don't give up on people too quickly, and here's why. Because when you close the deal, you change lives. And if there's anything I want you to take away from this, it is changed lives. Now, not everybody's story. We have doctors on this line today. I saw Dr. Frank, his buddies, they're not here where I'm about to talk about, but I'm going to talk about why we still need to get their credit card and change their life in a minute. So this is where I started. I was in a low-income housing. Actually, I was in a women's shelter, completely homeless. The upgrade was the women's shelter, driving a little Firefly that I went and picked up from my brother because I had no car, no credit card, nothing. I ended up there as a single mom, bills I couldn't pay off, earning less than $20,000 a year, no joke, in one of the most expensive cities to live in all of Canada, actually North America. So why was it important for that person, and why am I so thankful that they were persistent and pressured me, literally, like pressed me to go borrow the money to get started? By the way, I had to borrow the money for my first deal to get started. So you guys understand, I wasn't like, yeah, network marketing. I was already busy. Now, I had climbed out of this hole by building 2 traditional businesses. Now, building 2 businesses and becoming a pastor of a church actually put a bigger noose around my neck. $65,000 a month in overhead before I made a dime. 44 employees that drove me absolutely crazy. No freedom. Still had bills I couldn't pay off. No retirement plan. Couldn't take a vacation if I tried. Like literally, not much had changed. I made more money by not much. Like I seriously was still only at $40,000 a year. But I was obviously better off than where I was here. That's when network marketing came along. And why was it so important? Because I wanted to do big things. I wanted to change my life, but how am I supposed to do that when I didn't have the opportunity? So now, why would a doctor need the same experience? Why would a doctor, they're not broke by any stretch of the imagination. They make more money than, they obviously than I was making. But why would they still need this opportunity? Because here's the thing. You can be a doctor, a dentist, a lawyer. You could be a judge. You can be any of those things. If you are not doctoring, dentisting, is that a word? Judging or in court, you ain't making money. So it's still a linear income, meaning time for dollar income. And when you get into an industry like network marketing, which is the only industry that the average person with no experience, no education, no idea what they're doing can get in and build a residual income. It's the residual income that's the power. And that's why it shouldn't matter to you who you're approaching. Don't think of people who have more education than you as a frightening thing, because listen, they still don't know how to make residual income. So of course, there are other ways to build residual income or recurring income. But for me, I didn't have $1 million to play in the stock exchange, and I wouldn't know how to do it if I tried. I would have lost everything for sure, because wow, that's a whole nother game. I don't know I didn't have money to invest in a whole bunch of rental properties. And even still then, the rides in the rental market doesn't necessarily mean you're going to make money. So network marketing really was the place where I could change my life. But what had to change for me to change my life? What had to change for me? How many of you would like to become 7-figure earners? Like seriously, or even multiple 6-figure earners, like a couple $100,000 a year, or maybe even $100,000 a year. Or some of you are just getting started and you'd be happy to make $50,000 a year. Well, what has to change? You have to change. I had to change, and I'm still changing. Why do you think I'm reading this book? Because I need to know more every day. Leaders are learners, and they're also readers. So the audios you listen to, the books you read, and the people you hang out with are going to determine where you end up in life. And if you're surrounded by a bunch of negative Nancys that aren't learning, aren't growing, aren't striving for more, well, guess what? Pretty soon you will end up acting like them, because environment is everything. So we need to make sure that we're getting around the right people and taking the right actions. Now, closing starts with a decision, meaning you have to decide that you are going to get the credit card and that you are going to start changing people's lives. And just because they say their life is fine, don't believe them the first time. Trust me, you have no idea. We've had people get started and 2 weeks later, a month later, 6 months later. Even in some cases, there's people on the line here that we've been working with for 3 years that have said, you had no idea. My life looked fine from the outside, beautiful house, beautiful car, businesses, all of that. But on the inside, my relationships were a mess. I was stressed out, depressed, anxiety. You know what I mean? Like, money isn't the answer, you guys. There's something that happens in a human being when we feel like we're a part of something bigger than ourselves that requires faith to grow, where we can come together as a team, as a community, and be in a place where we're encouraging each other on in plan and purpose. That is what this is all about. So first, you're going to have to sell yourself on your own success every day. Our mentor, Paul, used to say the only person that you need to outwit, outfox, and outsmart every day is you, right? And when you look in the mirror, you're going to have to sell yourself in, or you will sell yourself out. And that happens in your mind, between your ears. The most successful people in this industry, or in any industry, is the ones that can control their mental game and talk themselves into success every single day, sometimes 20 times a day. Like yesterday, my first hour, not such a good hour. My second hour, great hour. Third hour, not so good. You know what I mean? Like, life is emotional. It's a roller coaster and cyclical, but you've got to talk yourself in, and you got to talk other people in. So you have to sell yourself on your own success. Then you have to sell myself on others' success. It is easy to look at your list and think, oh, they couldn't do it, I can't do it, blah, 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 right? All the reasons why they might not want to look at it. You know what I mean? Like, and especially, I love the book Go Pro by Eric Worre, because he opens the book by saying, The ones that win in network marketing are the ones that will go to their warm market and suffer a temporary loss of social esteem. Those are the ones that win. The ones that want to hang on to their facade of everything's perfect and not extend the opportunity to their friends, they tend to have trouble getting their businesses off the ground. Now, then you have to sell other people after you've sold yourself on their success, meaning talk, walk, momentum. You know, Dana's going to get started. She's going to go diamond and we're going to work together to create that business. Then you have to sell them on their success. And that's a continual job as well. So you guys understand that it's important that you are constantly selling, always be closing yourself on success and other success. You don't need everybody. Seriously, you do not need everybody. As a matter of fact, there's some people you'd be better off without. But what we do when we're new is we think we need everybody, so we get into a needy position. You do not want to be in a needy position because that makes people run away. If you want to get a stallion into a horse trailer, you do not walk up to the stallion, you actually turn your back and walk away. And people are much the same way, because when you turn your back and walk away, they will follow, right? Meaning, I'm going over here. This is why I'm doing it. Start with why. We don't start with what. We don't start with what. We don't start with how it's going to happen. We start with why, because what we're looking for is people who believe what we believe. We're looking for people who believe that, you know, residual income is a good idea, that they can change their life, that they want something more, that they want to create wealth for their families. Like, listen, right now, this is a business conversation, and the vision, your mission, and your why are very important. And I'm working, you know, I'll just give you an idea of the different levels of vision and mission. I'm working with some people that are like, you know, you need to buy a Hilo because, you know, it does an ECG and you'll be able to see if your heart rate is off. And I'm working with, and they make a little bit of money, right? They'll sell a unit or two or three or four. And then I'm working with business guys that are like, listen, the story about the product doesn't matter. Like, this is an actual conversation we had. He's probably on here. The story about the product doesn't matter. What matters is the business story. This is a publicly traded company that ships to 195 countries with the most advanced technology on the marketplace, priced well below what anything else is priced. It is going global. There's an opportunity to absolutely position yourself in front of the biggest tech boom the world has ever seen, and it's happening right now. So take a spot or miss it. So you see what I'm saying? Like, why you're looking for people who believe what you believe. So if you're selling a device, then you're going to get people who buy devices. If you're selling the bigger mission of what we're here to accomplish, which is building a global network in 195 countries with people that, listen, if you got a cell phone, type 1 in the comments. Every single person on the planet and their kids have cell phones. Well, why not a Hilo? Why not? Why wouldn't we have the same mission or vision that they had for Apple? Why wouldn't you have that? And why wouldn't you say what what Steve Jobs said, which is every single person on the planet needs to have a laptop in their house? And people said he was crazy. So you guys understand your vision, your mission, and your why are very important when we're talking about closing, because people aren't joining you to buy a Hilo. So there's a difference in that mindset. 2% of the population looks to bigger things than what's around them. First of all, you cannot look at your circumstances and achieve success at the same time. Your bank account might say that you've been losing. Your relationships might say that you've been losing. You know, your weight might say that you've been losing. There might be a lot of ways that you've been losing in your life. But if you want to change that to winning, if you want to change to being a winner, then you can't look at your current circumstances. You simply have to identify the things that you need to do better, take action on them, and take massive immediate action. So if you want to make more money, recruit more. If you want to become a better closer, get really good at casting vision. Listen to the leaders. Listen to what they're saying. Listen to how they close. Listen to what they're talking about. They ain't talking about selling Hilos, right? They're talking about the bigger vision of what we just went over. And know that everything that you want is outside of your comfort zone. That means you're going to have to get uncomfortable if you want to move forward in your life. Unfortunately, most people, when they get uncomfortable, they hit a terror barrier and they back down. They go back to how it was, how they're used to having it. You know, that's why most people will end up trying something for a little while and then they quit because they don't like the terror barrier. It is not fun. However, if you are an athlete of any kind, especially if you've done skydiving, there's a moment before you leave the plane that you think, I must be insane. This is crazy. That's a terror barrier. There's a moment after you leave the plane of, dear God, I hope my chute opens. But both of those things are just moments. And then you'll have the most amazing experience you've ever had in your entire life and want to do it again. So it's the same thing in this business. When we get past the things that are causing us that terror, then the reward is on the other side of that thing. Now, everyone has closing fears. Just people who are good at closing get over them quickly. So some of them are, what will people think of me? What if I sign them up and they fail? What if they say no? What if they feel pressured? What if I go to close and I don't know what to say? I don't like people feeling like I'm putting pressure on them. I don't like selling and telling people to buy something. All of those things have created a box that you're living in. And some of you may have more closing fears or less closing fears. But the point is, I believe every single person experienced that moment of, okay, here we go, we got to close. However, when you actually get the closing rhythm down, these fears, you'll feel that fear and you'll be like, okay, time to take action. And you'll just move towards it. So I know that if I let my fear stand in the way, for example, there's a lady on here today, her life has drastically changed over the last 3 years because I sat down in her store and I said, listen, basically with my body language, I am not leaving until you get started. So get out your credit card. So because I did that, her life has drastically changed. Every area of her life has improved. So what have you been doing? Have you been going for the close? Have you been knowing that you're going to change people's lives for the better, add value, and making sure you're getting that sale? Or have you been testing the waters and letting people decide whether they think this is a good fit for them or not? Listen, how can they decide if they think it's a good fit for them when they don't even know what you're talking about? You can't decide in 2 minutes or 5 minutes or even 30 minutes whether or not this is a fit. You have to have someone lead you to the idea, the bigger possibilities, and move past your fear and theirs to a much bigger vision. And when you do that, when you're casting that vision, they will come with you. Now, there are going to be people that judge you. Get over it. When you try to change, they will want you to stay the same. Get over it. There are going to be people that don't want you to do it. Oh, well. But here's the thing. When you decide to get out of your box, when you decide that they are not going to pay your mortgage, they are not going to pay your retirement plan, they are not going to pay for your kids' future, and that if you are buying their opinion, you'd be better be willing to buy their lifestyle. So if you want their opinion, you better be willing to live the way they live. And so when I decided that I didn't want other people's lifestyle, that I wanted something bigger and better, listen, if there's guys out there, there's guys on this line that have made $80 million, $100 million in network marketing. If they can do it, I can do it too. It might take me longer. I might, fail worse, but whatever, I can figure it out. And even if I hit 50% of what they earn, 10% of what they earned, 8 million, not bad, right? Like, you guys understand that Dana's like, yeah. We've got to decide that there's a big reward and that there's a price to pay. And some of these things are the prices that we have to pay, but we need to get out of our box. You do not have to live the way you've been living, think the way you've been thinking, walk the way you've been walking, and talk the way you've been talking. You could start to mimic and learn from 7-figure earners. Right now, you're surrounded by them. We have so many of them on this team. It is not even funny, which is rare in itself, you guys. And you have an opportunity to start listening to the way they talk and just let their words come out of your mouth. Let their posture show up in you and be somebody worth following, right? You guys understand, people will join you when you have the posture of, listen, this is where I'm going. I'd love to have you on the team, but if you don't come, I'm not waiting. Dogs don't chase parked cars. So when we're looking at what we need to do to become a master closer, what we want to do is study CEOs, 7-figure earners, and become like them. Think how they think. See, you guys, it's not just the way they dress or walk or talk, it's the way they think. They don't think, oh, maybe I can sell a single helo to my neighbor across the street. They think maybe I can sign up the mayor and the mayor will sign up the entire county and the county, you know what I mean? Like, it's a different way of thinking. So you have an opportunity, if you choose to take it, to expand your vision. And I don't care if you're used to being a little nurse next door and you are the sweetest thing on the planet. somewhere inside of you, there is a 7-figure earner, and you can still help people and get the things that you want by helping them get what they want. And what most people want and need is freedom. And freedom starts in our minds first, which means we got to lead people to personal growth, which is why network marketing is so powerful. And then it starts in our pocketbooks, because you will be, money makes you more of what you are. If you're a good person, it makes you better. If you're a worse person, well, you can, go with that. So, but most people that come to network marketing are just good people. This is a good people business. Of course, you need to have high expectations and expect them to join your team. So assume the close. If you don't help that person, if you don't sit down and get that credit card, who's going to? When's the next time somebody's going to come along and offer them an opportunity to plug into your team that is filled with 7-figure earners and teach them how to make money from home? Anybody? Probably not. Not with the degree of caliber of the product, opportunity, and leadership that you have that you can lead them to. Focus on them only. This is not about them signing up so that you can make money. That is not how we close. How we close is, listen, I heard you say you want to make more money. So if I can show you a way to make an extra $2,000 to $5,000 a month, would you get started on my team? Like, assume the close. I can do that. You need to join me. And focus on them and what they're going to get out of it. Of course, we talked about vision, painting the picture, and posture. Need no one, because here's the thing. If that person doesn't do it, next. I'll never forget the story when Greg was maybe like 4 months into network marketing. He had a lot of success very quickly. And then in the 4th month, he didn't have any success. And he talked to 45 people and they were maybes, not right now. I'll think about it. And he phoned his upline and he said, like, what am I doing wrong? And she said, you're not doing anything wrong. Go call number 46. Like, basically stop whining and get out and get after it next. And when he did that, his whole business bust open. But some of us want to talk to 2, 3, 4, 5 people, or maybe even 10 or 20, and we don't get the results that we want. And so then we, stop trying. But you guys understand that there is somebody out there that's going to join your team. You just got to keep going. And the more persistence you show, the better quality people you're going to attract. Now, remember, progress, not perfection. You've got to learn to fight for your success. So it is not about perfection and getting it perfect. It's about making progress. So you may not have it all figured out. You are learning, you're changing, and you are going to grow. They can come along for the ride, or they can watch you, but you cannot wait on them. And that attitude develops urgency, right? Because urgency and excitement, that's what sells. It's not all the facts. Listen, how does the Hilo work? I don't know. I actually don't. I don't have one. Notice I didn't get one. So how does the app work? No clue. Don't even have it on my phone. But yet I've sold, 150 packages, or more. So what is it that you guys are doing? Are you focused on the product and the app and the whatever, or are you focused on the bigger vision of what we're doing? Now, ladies, I'm talking to you quickly. Listen, in business especially, it is okay for men to be tough, to fight, to be closers, and they're seen as valiant, courageous, CEO type guys. But when women do it, we're supposed to be careful and sweet and cautious and not too bold, not too strong. That is nonsense. Men will not respect you in business if you are a doormat or a pushover. So if you want to have big players join your team, if you want to have successful men on your team, then you're going to need to sit up straight and do business. You've got to do business, and it can be a little intimidating. But here's the thing, the more you practice, the better you'll get. And if you want for your spouse to support you, then you need to be somebody that he can respect. Men do not go into business with each other and say, hey man, how can I support you? Hey, listen, I was thinking I'd like to go make $10,000 a month. Do you want to support me in that? That's not how they roll. That's not a thing. But success principles are not gender specific. So when you behave the way a successful person behaves, that's what they respect, right? So we need to make sure that we are being, business oriented and brave and become closers. And that is what will gain the respect of the men around you. So that was a brief little caveat. I just wanted you guys to know that, you can, as females, become incredibly strong players in network marketing. And as a matter of fact, the majority of this industry is made up of women, and yet there is less female leadership in the industry than there is male leadership. And we have to ask ourselves, why is that, ladies? Is it because we maybe are buying into some of the ideas about not being too bold, to this, to that, whatever it is that you're buying into? Well, I just encourage you to step out, and that goes for the guys too. Some of you are dealing with friends and family that don't think that you should be in network marketing. Listen, again, if you want their results, then you can buy their opinions. Sorry guys, I just have to get this thing. There we go. So understand that closing really is about changing lives. It really is about learning to close the deal so that you can help them towards their future. And the person that you're sitting with, honestly, you guys, if I hadn't been signed up in network marketing, I don't even know. Honestly, like, I'd be a shell of the person that I am. I would never have been able to travel the world the way I have. I wouldn't have met my husband, which means I wouldn't have his daughter as my daughter. We have made millions of dollars. Our whole existence is different because somebody was persistent enough to chase us down, make us look, and get us started. So stop kowtowing to what people think about this opportunity. What they think does not matter. What you think, where you're going, what your vision is, that is the only thing that matters. And I'm going to end with a little video that's maybe like 3 minutes long, you guys. But here's the thing. In business, you've got to have faith. That's why I'm loving this book, The Trump. Like, listen, this guy, when he had no money, put together $20 million deals with no money because he had faith. And some of those deals took 6 years to close, to ever make any money on. That takes faith the size of a mountain. But he started with faith of a mustard seed. And the good book says that if you have the faith of a mustard seed, it can grow into the biggest bushel in the garden. So you guys understand that you've got to have faith. Faith in your opportunity, faith in where you're going, faith in the possibilities, right? Most people don't want too much. They straight up want too little. And most people have not been bred to be champions. As a matter of fact, we have been bred, we have been taught that money is for those people. Private planes are for those type of people. Who am I to think that I can have a yacht and a private plane and make millions of dollars? Who am I to think that I can change my life and have everything that I want? It's absolutely crazy to me that we breed ourselves and our children not to win, but to lose. And you guys, here's the thing. Anyone can become a champion as long as they do what champions do. And I love that quote that says, everybody wants to be a beast until it comes to doing what real beasts do. And real beasts work day in and day out. Listen, I was on the phone with a guy last night. It was 12:30 his time, and we were still doing business, right? You guys understand? And he's back at it again this morning. And he'll be back at it until the job is done. Why? Because he's a champion. You guys see, some of you try a little, you work an hour here, you work an hour there, you might, sign a couple people up and you're like, yay, I did it. No, you didn't do it. You didn't do it. You barely even scratch the surface. Yes, good for you for doing it, but you do it till it's done. Paul also used to say the world doesn't need more starters. The world needs finishers, people who are going to finish the job, who are going to start and see it through. People who are going to be willing to sacrifice what they can have right now for what they can have tomorrow. So you guys understand that anyone can become a champion. Now I'm going to play one of my very favorite videos and we're going to end with this. But I want you guys to understand that in this video, you're going to hear something that strikes a chord in your heart. And you're going to hear two things. You're going to hear, number one, something that causes you to want to rise up to another level. And then you're going to hear things that you know are true about you. You guys can go ahead and put a 1 in the comment when you hear those things, of course. But I want you to take a note today about what, number one thing that you're proud of that you've been able to accomplish since you've gotten started here. And that maybe it's persistence. Maybe you're just proud of yourself for being persistent. And then I also want you to write down one thing that this week that you're going to work on doing. And if you guys really truly want to go to 6 figures, if you truly want to go to 7 figures, understand that there is work involved. This is network marketing, not work marketing. And the best thing that you can do for yourself when somebody tells you no or not right now, forget about it. Forget about it. You know what I mean? I have a very high closing ratio, but you know why? Because I don't remember the ones that say no straight up. I'm like, oh, somebody said no to me. Why? Who? Why? Why would they do that? I don't even know what you're talking about. I don't let it sit in my brain. It's like next. So if that's maybe something you need to work on, I encourage you this week. Listen, the ones that get on the phone and make the calls are the ones that win. The ones that get on the phone and get the credit cards are the ones that win. Get them plugged into the system. Let's move forward. Let's make it happen. So respect is not given, it is earned. Be somebody that can be respected. Know, you guys, that we are here fighting for our families, for fulfillment, for personal satisfaction, for all those things. And at the end of the day, we have the opportunity to literally change people's lives if we choose to. So let's see if we can get this video up. Is it going to play? Oh, there we go. 1 second.
I will conquer my opponent. Defeat will not be in my creed. I will believe where others have doubted. I will always uphold the prestige, honor, and respect of my team. I have trained my mind and my body will follow. Who am I? I'm a champion. I will acknowledge the fact that my opponent does not expect me to win, but I will never surrender. Weakness will not be in my heart. I will arrive at the cutting edge of battle and win by any means at my disposal. I accept the fact that my team expects me to move faster and fight harder than our opponent. Never shall I fail my teammates. I will always keep myself mentally alert, physically strong, and morally straight. And I will shoulder more than my share of the task, whatever it may be, 100%. Who am I? I'm a champion. Gallantly will I show the world that I am a specially selected and well-trained warrior. My heart and my soul will be the fuel to carry my body when my limbs are too weary. I will never falter. I will never lose focus. As long as there is hope in my mind and my heart still beats, I will never give in to the evil that is weakness, and I will fight that evil with my dying breath. I'm a champion. Energetically will I beat my opponent. They will not challenge me. They will not stop me from my goal. I shall defeat them on the field of battle, for I am better trained and will fight with all of my might. Defeat, retreat, are not a champion's words. I will never leave anything but the very best on the field with my teammates. And under no circumstances will I ever surrender. I'm a champion. Finally, will I display the discipline and strength required to fight forward to my objective and complete that objective. I will rise when I have fallen. I will rip the heart from my opponent and leave it beating on the ground because he cannot stop me. Who am I? I'm a champion. My opponent may not fear me, but he will respect me. And if he does not, I will make him respect me with all that I have to give. Who am I? I'm a champion. It's our time, not tomorrow, not next week, but right now. None will say I'm not giving all I have to give, and none will take my glory. Who am I? I'm a champion. History will remember me. No one will deny me. No one will define me. No one will tell me who and what I am and what I can't be. Who am I? Who am I? I'm the champion. 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 Who am I? I'm the champion.
So you guys, here's the thing. At the end of the day, our mindset matters, and there are only 2 closing questions. So if you want to know exactly how I close every time, here it is. What did you like best about what you just saw? Let them talk and agree with them. Awesome. You like the band? Awesome. You like the SOS, the Guardian, the whatever it is. Oh, yeah, that's awesome. I love that too. Did you see yourself just as a customer? Or do you get the global vision of this going to 195 countries and want to get in front of the biggest tech boom ever and make some money with us? What are they going to say? Just a customer? Like 2 out of 100 people will say that. Other than that, you guys, what package do you see yourself getting started with? Like, that's it. I do it every single time. And then we cast vision, right? So you guys got to get that vision in your heart. What are we doing here? This is a tech company that is publicly traded, going to 195 countries, literally exploding. Best technology out there, well advanced, in front of our competitors, priced lower than our competitors. Everyone's already buying it. And the matter of the fact is, this will be the biggest company in the world, hands down, period. Always innovating, long-term building, and we have an opportunity to be at the ground floor. So you guys understand, it's not, you can say that 15 different ways. It's how you're saying it, number one, and it's following a simple system and just knowing that no matter what, you guys can get them started if you will stand your ground energetically and say, listen, I'm going over here, follow me. So with that, you guys, it is time to pick up the phone. It is time to get on and get after it. We have a very huge day today. I'm doing a launch for the UK. I'm doing a launch for Mexico City and also for the US, which is exciting. And I know many of you may not have booked your day yet. So here's your marching orders. If you are not talking to minimum 10 people today, you will probably not make any money today. If you get on the phone and you peak 10, 20, 30 people, Saturday's a great day, I would do 40 or 50, then you are going to have a full funnel for next week. And understand, you guys, the next thing you need to do is print off the closing questions, which are in the Facebook group. What did you like best about what you saw? And use them. So you can use them, you can practice using them, and do your 3-way calls. So with that, you guys, go have the biggest Saturday you ever had. We have just 9 days left in this cycle. Is that right? 9 days? 7 days? I don't know. 7 days. So you guys have an opportunity. There's not one person on this line that can't go make a massive dent, get promoted if you're brand new to gold, platinum, or diamond, or higher, if you will stay focused for the duration of the cycle and do the very most you can. Not just skate by, not do a little bit, but do the very, very most that you can. I promise you, you will win. Okay, guys, have a great Saturday. We'll talk to you soon. Let's see.
This was fantastic.
Okay, guys, we are all done.